Welcome to the Black Pants Show, where we talk about everything black pants,
I'm not
black
wearing
jeans, black...
Hey everybody, welcome back to the post show. I'm back from my trip, which is why there was no post show last week, because I was on a trip. And even further down the road of being on that trip is that when I came back from the trip, I really struggled with the time difference. And so with that being said, I did in fact sit in the service, and you may have in fact saw me in the service with my eyes closed the majority of the time because I was so incredibly tired. I never fell asleep, but I just was like, I could not keep my eyes open. I was just like sitting. If I was like walking around the church and I was in the nursery, I was fine. But when I sat down, I was like, I'm just relaxing.
Hey, most of, if not all of us have been there, whether asleep fully or closed eyes.
Yeah.
It's all gotten us.
Yes. So anyways, with that being said, I have bits and pieces of the sermon.
Well, that's okay. I'm probably about the same. Now, you know, if we're all honest, can we ever fully pay attention to something for 40 minutes straight? That's tough to do.
I would like to think that we could, but I think with the way that the world is going, we're losing that skill.
Yep. So it's a good thing we get weekly practice.
Yeah. And it's a good thing that we don't typically usually even talk about what was in the sermon, so.
And that helps our case too. But if you did not get to catch the sermon, as always, wherever you listen to podcasts, search for Awaken Church Alaska, and you'll see our nice
The Alaska is important.
logo against a dark green tree backdrop. You can also find us on YouTube and on Facebook.
And just on our own church website.
And naturally, awakenalaska.com.
So, but the good thing that we do have going for us is that for the next 8 weeks, we do know at least one thing that we are talking about.
Yes.
Well, I guess not 8 more weeks. We'll have 5 more weeks.
Yeah, 5.
Because we're doing a series on Revelation. If you didn't know. The least scary series on Revelation, I think.
Yep.
There is no fear being brought.
No fear, no trepidation, just clearing of the air.
Yes, but speaking of fear, that was one of the big things that Levi talked about this week, is people's experiences in other countries mostly.
Right.
And how they are not open to worship or believe in Jesus in a lot of other countries.
Or to even poke fun at their own rulers.
Yes, he did bring that up, which, could you imagine how different America would be if we were not allowed to poke fun at it? What would SNL talk about, really?
There'd be a lot of people in jail, that's all I know.
What would they do on Saturday Night Live?
Seriously.
I wonder what people from other countries, of which you cannot speak ill of, people in power, think of Saturday Night Live.
I hope they know it exists. I hope they know satire exists.
Yes.
It's so important, like that kind of comedy.
Which is why we like to make fun of Levi here every week.
Yes, brevity is important, but you know, it's also the perspective that we need to challenge our norms. I think I heard somebody say in another sermon from another church the other day that if we're not challenging our own beliefs, then our faith isn't growing.
Yeah, I think that's true. And if we're not knowing about what other people experience, which I think I always have a hard time with the thought of oh, well, someone else has it so much worse than us. You know, I feel like that's a really common, that can be said in a lot of different ways, but that feeling or idea is a really common thing, especially I think in America. I feel like other countries probably don't use that because in a third world country, you're not people have it so much worse.
Yeah, I guess.
They probably don't. And so I think it's a kind of a double-edged sword of which it's very hard to walk the fine line of we want to be aware of the things, especially if we're talking solely about Christianity. We want to be aware of the things that Christians in other countries face, but at the same time, we want to do it in a way that's not downsizing what we face in America or what we face as Christians here or just as people, because we don't get to choose where we're born. We don't get to choose the family that we're born into.
Right.
We do get to make a lot of choices in life, and we do get to, those choices do have impacts, and that's a whole other topic. But there are so many things that we don't get to choose that result in blessings or that result in, not curses, but
Challenges.
Challenges. That's the only thing I could think of was curses.
The opposite of a blessing. Yeah.
And so I say all that to know that I don't really know the answer. While I think it's important to be aware of what people are struggling with. I think that if Jesus were to be here, maybe he is, and do it perfectly, it would be like he would be able to emote sympathy without making you feel like your experience is not hard. Mm-hmm. But I don't think we as humans are very good at that. We go one way or the other. We either are like, your life's not hard, think about this hard thing, or like, oh my gosh, your life's so hard, you have the worst life ever.
Here, have all the pity.
Exactly. We're not very good at the in-between. I want to be better at that because I personally have a really hard time when someone tries to make me feel better about the hard thing that I'm going through by telling me about someone else's maybe objectively, maybe not objectively harder thing, because it's all subjective, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you never saw Jesus balking at the man who had leprosy for so long and saying, well, someone just brought me a dead person and I brought him back to life. So like, you're going to have to go take that piddly business on your own. Like, no.
Yeah, so that's what I want to work on, which really was not the point of Levi's sermon. But that's what I want to work on. And I think really the best way to work on it is prayer for the Holy Spirit to act in us and to show us how to do that in individual conversations with people.
Mm-hmm. Yep, every context is different, and the Holy Spirit is going to meet you right there perfectly how you need it.
Yeah, so we hope this spoke to you in some way today. And we will catch you next week for more Revelation.
See you then.
Bye.